But from this round, I'm expecting a good start off from James Ellison. He's confident now. He's doing his normal Sunday, saving it till Sunday, and seeing what we can do. I think there's a good possibility of finding a third for Westy. Well, Westy's really confident now, and he's finding his bite, and he's got a good mojo. And I think a good 7th place for Westy, between 7th and 9th. So it's a lot to ask, but he's confident with his bike, and we're not that far off on pace. So yeah, they've all been working really well. Well, as you know, James is very confident round here, and his past results, he's been on the podium. He finished off with 2 seconds last year, so it does put us in a good stead, and he's really confident anyway. He just holds it back.
To be honest, we've been fast all weekend. Qualifying again didn't go to plan, but for a slightly different reason this time. We went out in Q2, we were 5th in Q1, we went out in Q2, and for whatever reason the tyre didn't work, you know. For sure there is some control issues with the tyres. So yeah, disappointing. We ended up 14th, which I nearly crashed as well. So yeah, all in all, a little bit disappointed with qualifying, but for sure 100% our pace is there to have a good day, you know. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, well, times are, I mean, obviously with the short circuit earlier this year, we seemed to dominate the race, but since Snetterton, obviously I broke 2 ribs, and people seem to keep forgetting that, you know. They keep saying, oh, you know, what's the deal with the results, you're having a bit of bad luck. It's like, no, I've just got 2 broken ribs, and it's really hard to compete at the level we're at now. So yeah, it's difficult at the minute, you know. I'm still trying to compete at the front. We've qualified in the 2nd row, which I don't think is too bad. I've gone quicker than I've ever gone around here before, even despite the injury. Did a 25.9, and I actually qualified pole here last year on a 26.1. So obviously the times have improved, and the speed's just, yeah, difficult to just reach that last little bit. I really struggle with the final part of braking at the minute still. So that's something we're working on. We've tried to adapt the bike a little bit. I've adapted my style out on track, but there's only so much you can do, you know, when you're racing at this level. It's difficult to push for wins when you're injured. You've got to be 100% fit and 100% focused, and we're not quite there yet. So I think I need just a couple more weekends just to repair. I think after Thruxton I'll probably back to being 100% fit. But right now it's just damage limitations. Do what we can. Like I said, we've got a 2nd row start, and the pace this morning was quick. I think we were 2nd in warm-up. So the pace is definitely there, and I can do the distance. It's just, I don't know how I'm going to fare once I get into a battle, you know, when I'm having to start out braking people. That's the difficult part. So we'll just see what we can do. We've always got to do our best.
Who's going to get the start? Shaky Bird looks intent, and he does get a flyer. Oh boy, he gets a flyer. So too, from the 2nd row of the grid does little Stuart Easton. He flies through as well. Ellison goes for the outside line. It's always crowded. It always looks lethal down Paddock Hill Bend. Everybody gets down safely. Ralph Turco at the back, Shaky Bird at the front. Josh Brooks in 2nd place.
Yeah, brilliant to start from East. Oh, somebody's off mid-park. There's 4 or 5 bikes down there.
They're locked
That's
together.
O'Halloran.
Jason O'Halloran, that is critical straight away. O'Halloran, who is just in that top 6, is suddenly...
and that's Hickman.
And Peter Hickman's also down. One of the BYs at Kawasaki's has also slid to earth there at Druids Hill Bend. So on the 3rd lap of 20, Byrne, Brooks, Cooper and Ellison, and then a small gap there to Easton and Laverty. Laverty having a big moment there. Westfield is a big kind of double apex downhill right-hander. And then the fabulous swoop down there. They touch 140 miles an hour virtually down there in Dinglendale, and then that blind rise up to Sheen Curve.
Yeah, there used to be a little chicane at the top of that hill. You had to go sort of one way and then the other. But
a great battle, James, going on between 2 guys who are really looking for form. Dan Linfoot has got through into 9th place. He's really come through the pack. Brock Park's right behind him. You mentioned that he's had that arm pump surgery just 9 days ago, number 2, the Australian.
yeah.
We're on the 11th lap of 20. Half distance complete here. Josh Brooks leads the
Oh,
way.
another
Oh,
one.
and another big crash. That was a Kawasaki went down.
It looks a bit Richard Cooperish.
Oh, no. That
No, he's
It's
there.
Byrne! Shaky Byrne, the championship leader, looking for a 5th consecutive race win, has crashed. Paul Byrne has seen both his riders crash out in the first half of the first race here. And was that at Westfield, James, that
Yes,
Shaky
it
went
was.
down?
It was, yeah.
And Brooksy wins it for Milwaukee Yamaha. Richard Cooper, what a ride into second place for the Almin Hire Tag Racing Kawasaki. James Ellison hangs on to that 3rd place on a precious podium credit point ahead of Tommy Bridewell.
Go on. We're going to take a break and have it off.
The fast stuff, it looked like there's some shadows.
Well, a little bit, but it was more where I lost everything was into clearways. There was bumps, it wouldn't react well.
Yeah.
The front was just going.
Yeah, if you watch it, Chris, you've got some chatter on the front.
Look, we've had 4 really disappointing races in terms of the championship, and that was, I think we probably finished about 2nd and a half off the race win there. So for James carrying his injuries, probably confidence down, just slightly down in conjunction with those. That's a fantastic finish, and kind of gets his championship and our progression back on track. So really happy.
It's only a 3rd place, but it's still a podium. It's podium credit. More importantly, 16 points as well. You know, we've had 3 DNFs in the last 4 races through just various different circumstances. Haven't quite worked out for us. I'm still carrying the rib injury, which is making it really difficult to actually even qualify. You know, and in the race, it's really difficult, really painful. And when the pace car came out, the adrenaline kind of wore off and made it really hard for me to sort of push any harder. You know, I was already pushing as hard as I could, and physically it's taking more out of me because I can't use my core. You know, it's literally using your arms and your legs and the core strength, which is something I'm really focused on in training. Obviously that's taken a dive in the last few weeks because I haven't been able to do the same amount of stuff. So it's more difficult out there to actually get that 3rd place. And so yeah, really happy to walk away with the 3rd, but we need another strong finish in race 2, and I walk away here happy.
Shane Byrne is 10 points ahead of Josh Brooks in the championship. Stuart Easton still lies 3rd, 5 points clear of James Ellison. And look at the attitude of James Ellison there on the 2nd row. The start, of course, so vital. Downhill in the Paddock Hill bend. A poor start for Cooper this time. A really poor start for Cooper, whereas Brooks and Byrne took off like scalded cats. Cooperman is, however, managing to salvage that 3rd place, I think, inside Ellison as they drop down. He knew that was important. And then uphill into Druids, he hooks the inside line.
Yeah, Ellison still having a go around the outside. Dodgy, that first lap round Druids we saw. We haven't all got rounds, that's good, but yeah.
He's made it stick at the bottom of the hill, I think, James.
Yeah.
He got inside Richard. Richard's going to respond as they go into Surtees, and he does barge the Cumbrian aside. Well, Richard Cooper, he's having a splendid day today.
That wasn't a barge, wasn't that? That was a fairly clean pass down there into that.
Shaky Byrne, who of course has been in and out of the British Superbike paddock. He's had spells in both worlds, a couple of years in MotoGP, a couple of years in World Superbikes.
Yeah, lots of things going on to raise money for Mark Huckelbridge, the oh, hang on.
That was a big mistake.
It's a crash, he's off.
Did he go off?
Yeah, he's gone down, yeah.
Oh, and that was Tommy Bridewell.
Yeah, it's Bridewell, yeah.
Oh, James Ellison there. Michael Laverty not quite there. I don't know whether Laverty was impeded when his teammate went down, because for a moment I thought it was Michael. Josh Brooks wins for Milwaukee Yamaha here at Brands Hatch. Splendid ride by the Australian. 2nd place goes to Shaky Byrne, the reigning champion for PBM Kawasaki. Another rostrum finish for Richard Cooper and Anvil Hire Tag Racing. And that is the race for the line for 6th place. And it's McConnell who gets it from Luke Mossey and Christian Idden. A terrific tussle between 3 of the younger element in this championship. James Ellison was 4th. Michael Laverty was 5th.
Race 1 for Ellison to get back on the podium. It's where we wanted to be. We worked hard on the week coming up to it to get there, but race 2, we don't know yet till he comes in. I think it's more of a feel for the bike. maybe a couple of setting changes what they've done. Westy's improving each weekend. He's going the right direction. Maybe in race 2 he's gone the wrong direction, but back to the drawing board again and go from there.